Hey, so life, huh? It can be hard sometimes. It can make you feel tired even though you have no apparent reason to be. You know, the usual generic boo-hoo first world problems. You don't live in the streets, your country is probably not at war, but still, you don't feel great. Waking up, going to a job you don't like, traffic, get home, complain about gas prices to your roommate, because yes, you cannot afford to live alone in this economy. Try to cut your ingrown toenail, fail, eat, take a bath, go to your bed, stare at the ceiling of your room like you can extract some kind of unknown knowledge about the fabric of the universe to give your life some type of purpose or meaning, fail again, sleep, repeat. It can be dull, and that's why sometimes you need to, as a floating head, record yourself yapping about depressive stuff. Normal stuff. The usual. What? You don't think this to be normal? What, you think that this is absurd? Why? Why, mister? Why is this absurd? Why can't I just be a floating head having an existential crisis, huh? We all think, we all have heads, so what makes this so weird? Is it that normal to be a pseudo-monkey sitting on a soft surface, your couch or bed, cause yes, I know you are there, don't fool me, staring at a rectangle that emits light with a floating head in there, a light-emitting rectangle that has all the human knowledge in it? Is it that normal living in a huge, unfathomable gathering of people called society, and instead of hunting like other animals, cause yes, we are animals, chada, we just go to big concrete cages where corpses and bits of animals are already inside for us to trade them with paper, or even worse, to trade them with numbers on that light rectangle, aka bullshit fake bank accounts. I don't know what I'm even saying. Is it that normal that we are basically moss attached to this giant rock ball that is floating around another giant ball, but this one is a giant thermonuclear bomb expelling radiation at rates that our little monkey brains cannot and will never understand? But it doesn't end here, because this giant thermonuclear ball is just standing there in a void, a gigantic void filled with trillions of those thermonuclear bombs, a void that we don't know where it is, and even if it is somewhere, a void that's there because yes, a void that most likely came from nothing. Is it that normal to come from nothing? What does that even mean? How can that be normal? How can that not be absurd? Well, if you came here because you are existentially tired, then I am sorry, because this floating head won't be able to help you. I mean, the universe and existence itself are already absurd. Actually, no, maybe you are the absurd one. You are not as normal as you think you are. But aren't we all? What does it even mean to be normal? Aren't we just fragments of the universe trying to escape this inevitable fate of apathy? Does it even make sense for the universe to have a bedrock of unquestionable guidelines that we are bound to follow? Why be good? Why not be bad? What are those words even supposed to mean in their true sense, in their essence? Aren't they just words, some mere vibrations that we decided to give meaning to? Whatever meaning the word meaning has, but the meaning that we gave it. Am I, a floating head, supposed to give meaning to it? And if yes, why? To please my genes? To please the universe? To please God? But even if God exists, so what? Why should I please it? What if God doesn't exist? Why bother at all? Why bother existing, fighting, trying? Just because yes? Well, maybe. I mean, why shouldn't that be the case? Maybe life doesn't need a why, an inherent meaning. Maybe I can give the meaning to myself. Unlike a knife, which already presupposes that it needs to cut to be a knife, or a chair that needs to be seated upon to be considered a chair, maybe I don't need to have an essence in myself, a why, a purpose. Maybe I am able to impose that meaning, whatever that is, in myself. Maybe I'm just a floating head. What does that mean? Do I need to do something special to feel like I deserve to be a floating head, to prove myself to the universe, to God? Probably not. But to myself, to my bodiless body, to the floating head that I am, well, yeah, if I want to. If I feel accomplished, I don't know, eating cereal in the middle of the forest, then yes, that's my purpose, that's my why. Not because I was born to eat cereal in the middle of the forest, but because I feel that is what I should be doing, because that's what my floating head wants to do. Does that free me from moral and social obligations? Of course not, I can't just do what I want, but maybe I am free to at least try to do what I want, taking into account what rules I need to follow in the society that I live. What the fuck? How can that make sense? I'm not even a floating head, I'm dressed in a green screen costume, which doesn't really matter. Like always, I will die, you will die, and this memory of me being in a green screen will also die with everyone that has it. We will just go back into this amalgamation of particles that we call the universe, that sometimes has the shape of humans or chairs or furniture or whatever, and that sometimes is conscious, until we reach the heat death, or the space stretches so much that everything stretches, even atomic things self-destruct, or we will just crunch again. It's all a matter of time until it's all gone, until we go back into nothing once again. Which means it is inevitable, which means it is all a waste of time, which means I should probably just end it. Well, that doesn't seem right, nor fine, does it? Will I eventually die and go back into this mesh of particles that sometimes again has the shape of humans, and sometimes it's conscious? Sure, that's kinda my fate. Everybody and everything just eventually dies, but like, the fact that I am here is ultra impressive, to say the least. Like, the chances are almost zero, so not taking this chance to feel and experience everything I can, to do everything I want to do and accomplish my wants, whatever those are, seems stupid. Because then I'll die and I won't be able to experience anything or do anything for all that matters. But what can I do? Devote myself into a religion? How to hypnose my floating brain into thinking that there's something greater than me, into thinking that maybe God exists, that there's a purpose to be filled, that I was born with a mission, a godly mission, that pleasing God or an idea is the ultimate way out into freeing me from this existential weight, when the most likely reality is that there isn't anything to please? Well, that also seems stupid, but what can I do? What am I supposed to do in the face of this absurdity called life? In the myth of Sisyphus, we are faced with someone that has been fated to roll a boulder up a mountain just for it to roll back down once he finished the task, and do it again and again and again for eternity because he decided to challenge the gods or whatever, folklore shit. It's a pretty miserable fate, boring. No real goals to reach, worse than death, if I may say, but isn't that life? Try to do good, try to live a fulfilling life, fail at death because we understand that life has no purpose and we just fall down that philosophical mountain again. And what do? We get up again, because what can we do besides that? Kill ourselves? No, we already discussed that. Kill ourselves philosophically by joining a religion? Well, also no. I'm just depositing my hopes into something that probably doesn't exist. So maybe the wisest thing to do is to accept it all. Maybe we need to imagine Sisyphus being happy while rolling that boulder up a cliff. Maybe we need to imagine ourselves happy doing whatever we have to do on a daily basis. Maybe we just have to understand that all of this, society, money, work, boredom, life, death, floating head, not floating head, all of this makes no sense, and we just have to roll with it. We just have to accept the weirdness of it all. That yes, we might just be a little bit of moss in a giant rock ball, going around another super giant rock ball that is a thermonuclear bomb, but so what? That's just how it is. Yes, maybe existence has no meaning, which means that I have no purpose to fulfill, which means that maybe trying to find meaning in my life is the meaning of my life, which is weird, and maybe meaning doesn't exist at all. But I mean, maybe we are just human beings. We aren't really human doings. We don't need to work all day or do stuff all day to have a why to be here. Maybe we just have to be here. Maybe we just have to be a floating head once in a while and accept that this is all weird and this makes no sense and that's okay. Things are boring sometimes, things are crazy sometimes, and then it's scary and then it's cool, but in the end, that's just how it is. We just have to roll with it. The ultimate question should be that, should you be watching a video about fulfillment and purpose from a guy that has a floating head or that is in a green screen costume, whatever? Probably not, but who cares? We are all going to die and get back into this mesh of particles that we call universe. Did I help you in any way? Sure not. Did I make your existentially tiredness worse? Most likely. Does it matter? Eh. What I think I really want to say with this video is that I honestly don't think what I want to say. Existing is weird, and it's weirder than anything you could possibly do because everything weird is residing in this universe that you exist in. I don't know what is the purpose of life, like everybody else, and sometimes it feels that everyone is trying to find the purpose of their lives, and that is the purpose of their lives, to find the purpose of their lives, which is paradoxical, to say the least, and stupid, but honestly, that doesn't matter because it truly doesn't matter. But at the same time, it matters because somehow, from all the possibilities that could have occurred, somehow the universe made its way into this precise moment in time and space. A moment where I am conscious, a moment that would have never existed if I never existed, which makes this special in its own weird, meaningless way. Just like every moment bro, I'm not a poet. Fuck am I doing? Do what you want, man. Or woman. Just make sure not to hurt people or animals, and I think it's all good. Well, thanks for watching. If you wanna see me talking about more weird concepts, here's a video where I talk about nothing and something and if stuff exists or why it exists. Well, I don't know, things I talk about. It's cool and I go into the middle of the forest. I do not eat cereal there, but I go to the middle of the forest. See you on the next one.